Hey FLOSSTUBE, it's Leigh from Creative Leigh on Sunday the 23rd of October. FLOSSTUBE number 148. I'm back, I'm home. I made it back from Brisbane Thursday morning, like home around 2 AM. I think we got in just after 12:30 AM and we were the only flight coming in. I think we're the last flight before curfew. We have curfew in Wellington Airport at 2 AM I think, and then the airport shuts for an hour and then I think it opens again at 3 or 4 shut for cleaning and all that sort of crap. Yeah, it's a curfew between 2 AM and 6 AM I think, like no flights in or out. Random fact. So yeah, made it in, made it through. I had gone shopping with my sister to pick up a couple of knives for Dad, some kitchen knives. There's a chain in Australia called House and they have a massive range of kitchen stuff, including reasonably good quality kitchen knives, like various ranges from like $50 a knife up to like $300 or more a knife. And Dad had wanted a knife anyway, blah blah blah. They had buy one get one free, so I bought him 2 knives and then went back and I bought myself some knives. So I had this, I think 6 kitchen knives in my suitcase, the one I checked, but all lined up like between clothes and stuff, so that's fine. Then when I landed and going through the biosecurity checks and my bag goes through the x-ray and the lady is like, excuse me, do you have knives in your bag? I'm like, yeah, I have several kitchen knives that I bought. She goes, okay, and she let me go. I'm like, it would have looked like frickin' Dexter lined up with all these knives, but anyway, it was kind of funny how the people that cared were the biosecurity people, no one else seemed to give a shit. But anyway, I made it back. Yeah, last minute shopping on Wednesday afternoon. Had a little sneaky lunch with my sister. Oh, thanks to everyone who has left such lovely, kind comments last week on my bonus. Last week on my bonus video, where quick little video with my sister Megan, and we showed a couple of her stitching projects. Thank you. She was terribly nervous. She goes, I don't want to do this. I'm like, oh, go on, you can do it. And I kind of just made her do it. So she was fine, but she was very nervous, and I appreciate all the lovely, kind thoughts. I will keep you posted as and when she works on her projects. She is very busy, as I said in the video. She has, a husband, seems like hundreds of adult children still living at home, hers plus add-ons, 2 dogs, 4 birds and a butt ton of tropical fish. They're kind of my favourite because they're very quiet. In a 3/4 bedroom house, I guess. I don't know, it's very complicated. So she doesn't have the same amount of time to stitch as I do. And yeah, it's just how it is really. And the doggo's doing okay, I think. I haven't spoken to Megan since I got back because she had to go back to work and then time difference sucks. But I believe he was doing a lot better when I left, so it's a good chance he has dodgy dizziness, and it will go away over time. And certainly the anti-nauseas or whatever meds that they put him on, he had a lot more life. He was still a bit wobbly, but he was sort of, chased the magpie and came and ate, whereas he hadn't eaten for a couple of days because I guess he felt really sick. So he was certainly had a lot more spark, and I think that my sister's also going to start the dogs on some, just like a supplement for the both got arthritis, so like a glucosamine conjoined sort of mix. Dad's doing okay. Spoke to him a couple of times since I've been back. Certainly much easier to talk to him when you're in the same time zone. He's doing okay. Yesterday he was heading off to visit with Auntie Ivy, his aunt, my great aunt, the aunt that just turned 101 in early October. So That's nice for him to be able to go in and visit her. Otherwise, been keeping pretty quiet, like get a bit of energy, but still getting on. Yeah, so I've had a lovely long weekend since I've been back. The first couple of days, I think Thursday, I ended up having to have a bit of a nap because I had a good sleep when I got home, but you know, it wasn't till about 2:30, and then I woke up at kind of normal time. So I'd had like 4 hours, and then in the afternoon I just needed to have a wee nap. And then Friday the weather was a bit meh, so I just said, hey, guess what I did? I stitched. And then yesterday I decided, after I did a whole lot of chores and stuff in the morning, and got some cooking and random crap, I basically spent the afternoon stitching as well. What did I watch? I watched something yesterday, some series. I caught up on New Amsterdam. That's what I did. So it's a ridiculous show, but we enjoy the characters. So Monday is Labour Day, so that's a public holiday here in New Zealand, and that means I don't have to go back to work till Tuesday, which is exciting. So I get a 4-day week this week coming. I'm very pleased about that. And then, gosh, it'll be the end of October. And we're cranking into 2 months for the rest of the year, and so much to do. I don't know how I'm going to cram it all in, but I'm just going to have to say no to a lot of the Christmassy kind of... I hate Christmas. Ugh. I'm going to have to say no to some of that stuff because there's still quite a bit to happen this year with some shows. Got a ballet still to come up. Ballet in a couple of weeks, I think. Gosh, in the 2023 ballet season's announced on the 1st of November, so we'll be buying our tickets for the next year because my friend and I always buy our tickets. We get subscriber series, we get discount, so we book the whole year as soon as it comes out, so we get our favourite seats. We have our seats and we get them all booked. And I think I'm going to... there's another play we're going to, and I think I'm going to a comedian thing this year. What would that be? It might be Sandy Toksvig, so host of QI, short Danish comedian living in the UK. So I think we're going to her before Christmas as well. And then I've got going to Sarah Millican in the new year. I can't remember what else. There seems to be other stuff that's booked as well. Anyway, going to be a busy couple of months. Yeah, should we get onto some stitching stuff? Haven't bought anything else since my tiny but expensive haul at All Threads, and quite a few were like, it'd be nice if you spent more time there. Yeah, it kind of would, although I just would have found more stuff that I couldn't really afford. I totally had a massive list. I think if I'd bought everything on my list, not sure if it was all there, but if I'd bought everything on my list that I'd taken for specific projects, I could have spent about $1,200. So let's just say in 25 minutes I managed to spend over $300, so it's fine. I don't need to stay longer. And we could have stayed a little bit longer because we got there a little bit early and we had booked a session and there weren't other people there. But we had to wear masks and it's so tiny, and my sister got a bit bored. And I didn't have my right glasses because I think I told the story. I had to go and pick them up because I left them behind in a car park in another subdivision or part of Brisbane. So I didn't have the right glasses on. I only had my faraway glasses, which meant that I had to keep taking them off to see things relatively close up, and I didn't have my reading bit, so anyway, it was fine. I was there plenty of time. The other thing I forgot to say, I have ordered from them before a couple of times, like mail order, is that what it's called? I don't know. And when I went to check out, she's like, oh, you have a credit, do you want to use it? And I'm like, oh, hell yeah, I didn't even know I had a credit. So it's like $6 or something came off, so it was like quite exciting. Didn't know I even had accumulated credit, but that's kind of cool. I don't know if you can use it. I don't know, if I need to email order, maybe have to email them to say, can we use it? I don't know. Anyway, let's get into the stitching. So, haven't bought anything else, although I will have my Rainbow Club and Silks for You arriving this week. I think Catherine was getting that in the post on the 21st, so I should get that on Tuesday or Thursday or whenever the mail gets delivered. But I did get some happy mail. A couple of things of happy mail came in, which is really nice. So first of all, Sabrina from Australia had messaged me a number of weeks ago to ask if I was interested in a couple of charts that she was passing on. And one of them was like, oh yes, this is totally on my list to do. So she sent me Ida Nolt, which is Hands to Works, or says it's called Ida Nolt Revisited. And I think this came out either Market 2021, was that a thing, or 2020, or it was one of the needlework expo. But I'm pretty sure it was a market thing. So maybe it was 2020, because there wasn't a 2021, was it? And it's been on my sort of list, but I've never really pulled the trigger on it. Partly because during that last couple of years, getting physical stuff's been a real pain in the bum. So she sent that to me, and she's happy for me to pass these on when I'm done with them. It's charted for needlepoint silks. I would totally do a conversion. And I don't know when I'm going to do it, but I really like it. So thank you, Sabrina. And also she asked if I was interested in a couple of other charts that I said, well, not particularly my style. I think it was because it was after I'd mentioned I was making apple butter. And she said, oh, I've got a chart called apple butter. But anyway, she said she'll send them to me anyway, and she's happy for me to pass them on. I'm not going to do a giveaway for a couple of weeks. I need to get all of my 1,000 subscriber giveaways out first. I've sent a couple. Well, the fabric, Nicole has the fabric because Catherine sent that directly to her. And when I was in Australia, I posted the pink silk. I'll be posting everything else over the next couple of weeks. Not sure when the bag will go out. I'll let you know when that does. Anyway, so she sent me these. I'm going to just put them aside, and I'll probably have a few giveaways in a couple of weeks. So these two, orange marmalade and apple butter. So they're sort of older charts from yours truly. They're very sweet. They're just that country style. That's not really my style, but they are kind of fun. They were published back in 1982. So they both have non-cross stitches on them as well. Cute. So yeah, there'll be a giveaway sometime after I've got all the other stuff out. I've got a few things that'll be getting queued up to give away. And then when I finally stitch Ida, that'll be passed on as well. I checked with Sabrina and she was happy for me to pass on charts, you know, giveaways and after I'm stitched them. And I also had Cindy reach out. She's from New Mexico. I was like going, what does NM stand for? New Mexico in the States. And she had reached out saying she had stitched this and was I interested in it? And I was like, yes. So she sent me Blackbird Designs, What Remains. It's so cute. I, of course, will probably use all my own threads and stuff. Although I'm tempted to get Weeks Dye Work Schneckly, just so I can say Schneckly. I don't know which colour Schneckly is. Let's have a look. It's the vertical. Oh, it's in the alphabet. Oh, it's that pinky colour. No. I don't know what it is. Who knows? What's in the house? Oh, it's that funny green colour. Don't know if I'm going to fork out for that funny green colour. So anyway, thank you for that, Cindy. I really appreciate it. So again, you know, when I eventually stitch this, I'll be sure to pass it along, but it'll be a little while yet. And then she also sent me some of her threads that she used, I believe. Amy Mitten, they're like flower threads, they're silks though, they're beautiful and soft. So she sent me 3 samples or bits left over of Amy Mitten silks. And we've got Motive is a lovely pink. Very, very suspicious. Looks like that was a substitution for Schnickly. Have you just looked at that? I got to say it again. And Morbid. So thank you for that. And a lovely card. I forgot to say that Sabrina sent me a lovely note as well. So that's very cool. And cool stamps on that one. Who that dude is? A baseball star. Yogi Berra? I presume that's some dude. No idea. Don't really follow baseball. But the butterflies are pretty cool. Yeah, so that was my Happy Mail. So as you recall, I didn't get a lot of stitching done over the last week. Before I got home anyway, because, you know, visiting with family and stuff. But given Friday I pretty much sat on my ass and did some stitching, I picked up my start that I didn't show you. This is start from the 9th of October. It was start number 40, and I'd done some of it, but had not shown you it, and then went away, didn't take it with me. Anyway, I picked it up. It was Westwinds by Carriage House Samplings, which I was charted with my own colours, so just some random stuff that I pulled, and then I ended up changing most of the threads. So I'd pulled all Victoria Motto Sampler threads, and then I ended up swapping all but 2 of them for other Victoria Motto Sampler threads, and one dark green that I pulled from Tom and Lily, because I just didn't have a dark green. So I ended up, all the threads I'd pulled before were way too light and pastel, and I just pimped it up more. I finished it. So this is on Tickle the Ivory 40 count from Dames of the Needle and my own conversion. So I started it on the 9th of October, and then I finished it on the 22nd. So I actually finished it yesterday. I think I had a little bit of the tree to do. And it is quite different, and I absolutely love it. And I made all sorts of weird changes. Mostly I'd pulled colours that in theory this house is meant to be the same colour as one of these leaves, but it was too blue. So then one of the leaves is this green, and then when I did this top row, these 3 were meant to be light, and I didn't read the chart. And then when I got to here and I put the light colour in, I picked up the wrong green. So these 2 are the different colour than these ones. I don't really care. The chart calls for like a maroon colour, and I ended up with quite this old cherry colour. So mine's quite a little bit brighter than the call for, but I'm really happy with it. Yeah, so finished that. So that was start number 40. Finished, yeah, just did a lot of stitching on Friday. This will go in the giveaway pile, but again, I'm not going to give anything away until I'm caught up with my shipping. So watch out for a future vid for that. And then yesterday I kitted up a few things. I'm not going to show them because I've already put them away. The floss, the Gloriana silk that I bought for Rhapsody in Red by Sampler Cove, I matched that up with the 40 count Toy linen from Country Stitch that I got in September, I think it was, and put that together. So that's all now kitted up for a 2023 start. And then I also cut fabric and formally kitted up the Herbie Dragons and Herbie Lions. At the moment they're in the box for a potential 2023 start, although I may start one of them this year, we shall see. And then I was kitting up a few other, I was having a look at a few of my scraps because my scrap pile's got a bit big. And when I say scrap pile, I mean, you know, where you've cut off a bit after doing a larger project. And I couldn't decide what to start for my 41st start. I didn't want to start anything big. I didn't really have anything small kitted up. So I pulled this out. This is a chart I got from one of the sales that Art and Frame had a while back. From the Hutt, Needle Art by Wendy, Quaker Bees. And I pulled out a bit of fabric, a scrap of 36 count Affogato linen from Fibre on a Whim, and I pulled a few hand dyes, over dyes. Just made it work really. I think I only called for was onyx. I had a partial skein of onyx. I'm down to a tiny bit. I had this Grecian gold, which I used for the bee colour, so that's now down to a tiny bit. For the darker green, I pulled terrapin, so that's now getting a bit straggly. And then it's only used for the wings, and I used it for the personalisation. Straw by Weeks Dye Works. So yeah, just pulled some stuff. Yeah, 36 count, and I stitched it, and I stayed up a little bit too late. That's not helping with me readjusting to the time zone, staying up till a stupid hour, and it was a start and a finish yesterday. So start number 41 was a sneaky little start yesterday, and I just decided to finish it. And that's what it looks like. Now, those of you with a keen eye will notice, would see, if you looked at the chart, that it's quite different because I cocked up my counting. As I worked this one, there were 4 little steps there, and unbeknownst to me, I did 5 up here. So this ended up being about 3 or 4 stitches too far over. Then I counted off of that for the bee, and then I counted off of that for this pot and everything. And I got up to here. Oh, so not only was this about 3 or 4 stitches over, I think it's 3 stitches over and 4 stitches too high. Then this ended up being about 4 stitches too high. So this flower here was complete up here, which meant that it wasn't in line with here, and all this alphabet I counted off of this side, so that was all fine. But this bee, anyway, so I picked all this back, picked this flower out that was wrong, then I carried this over further, then completed these flowers almost, apart from a little bit of greenery, so they lined up with this, took 4 rows out here, they lined up. So now it all, like a Quaker does, they all kind of all cut off in line with each other, but differently in line with each other. So now it will no longer fit in a standard bloody frame. So if you stitch this on 36 count, apparently it fits in like a standard 4x6, I think 4x6 frame, maybe 5x7 frame, and yeah, like they've framed it really tight in a standard frame. And now this one, I'm over here, I'm like 4 stitches this way, or 3 or 4 stitches this way. I think I'm the same height. Anyway, I could still frame it in a standard frame and just cut off a little bit on each side, but I don't want to cut that bee off. So if I frame it tight on this side, I'm going to end up losing half of that pot. It's going to look really stupid. So I don't know. We'll worry about it another day. But I wasn't unpicking all of the pot and all of the bee, and yeah, it just ended up being how it ended up being. So it was a start and a finish, and then a fix up, and then a whatever. Really pale in the same colour as the wings. I just put my initials LAM there, and it just says 20, then 22. I had a moment too, I was going, what year is it? It's really pale, but I quite like how pale it is. And I really like that terrapin colour, that kind of muddy, really dark, sagey, muddy green, which looks black until you see the black pot. Yeah, so that was a quick little thing. So yeah, a sneaky little start and finish. I just didn't have it in me for another big start this week. You know, I want to get my whips, I want to keep my whips down, and I've still got a number of really big projects to finish. Not that I'm going to finish them all this year, but I'm kind of, it means that this week I can focus just on some whips. I'll have to have a look and see what I might stitch on, probably pick a couple of things. My next start's not going to be until the 31st. I'm starting, not a strictly Halloweeny one. For me it's more gothic / literature related. Like I said, Nevermore, Nevermore that I finished by Leila's Studio. I don't stitch that as a Halloween piece, I stitch that as a gothic / literature related piece. Similarly, I'm going to start Dracula's Confession on the 31st by Lindy Stitches, and again that's for me a gothic / literary related piece as opposed to a Halloween piece, but I'm going to start on Halloween. For these randomy scraps, I think I'm going to start like a little bin of a little, I don't know, something where I can put these, when you get down to not much, that one day I could use to do like a scrap, I don't know, a scrap, like one of those flower days or something. It's this perfect sort of example where, you know, it's quite a bit there to do several hundred stitches, but that's all you can do with several hundred stitches. Yeah, I don't know, random. So that is everything I stitched on, just those two little finishes, which is quite nice to get two little finishes, and I'm especially pleased with how this came out. You know, it's a little bit brighter with that cherry colour rather than the maroon, and it's just, you know, perfect example of taking a handful of really beautiful overdyes and just having fun with it, and sometimes stitching windows in a different colour because I picked up the wrong colour thread, but it doesn't really matter. And that's it, really. So yeah, I won't have another start until after next week, but I'll show you Dracula's Confession kitted up. I haven't kitted it up yet, so I've got to kit that up, and then I've got another one I need to kit up for a start in a couple of weeks, which I can't remember what it is. The Mermaid song, I need to pull the threads and all that. I think I'm just going to do that one in the call for DMC, but I can still get like little floss cards ready. And Dracula's Confession, I'm not sure how I'm going to kit that up. Probably will pull the DMC and then pick some decent overdyes if I can from my stash. So I do need to get that kitted up. Fabric's pulled for all those, but just not the threads, so I'll probably get that done. And if I remember, I'll show you next week. Okay, I'm going to wrap this up. Thanks again for coming along and watching. Really appreciate you and your comments. If you haven't already, please don't forget to subscribe, hit the like, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Find joy in your stitching. Don't stress about it. It's just X's in fabric. And until next time, don't let your needles rust. Ciao.